Yo, so I was just macroing, right? Let's say that I got quite a few items. I got over 2,000 strawberry seeds and many other really good seeds, as you can see. And if you actually look at my garden, I planted a couple of those too. Basically, I got all of those while macroing. And that's actually the subject of this video. I'm gonna show you how to macro using my macro right here. It got auto buy seed, auto buy gears. Discord webhook supports, so you can get like ping when you get good stuff. We go over that later. But first, we actually gotta download a macro before we can use it, of course. So I'm gonna go over the steps for you on how to download my macro. And just a quick note, macroing is actually allowed on Roblox, at least on this game right here. As you can see, if I go onto the Roblox TOS, I'm gonna put the link in the description if you want to go see for yourself. But if you go to this page, creator third-party app policy, if you go down, you can read this right here where it says that macroing is actually allowed in specific AFK style games. So you don't need to worry about getting banned because you won't get banned. That's as simple as that. And now with that being said, let's actually start with the first step out of the two steps that you will need to do to download my macro. Alright, so first step, you have to go in the description and open up the Autohotkey link that will get you to this official website where you can download Autohotkey. So to make it simple to new users out there, I know a lot of people already know what it is, but basically Autohotkey, it is what's gonna allow us to macro. So how it works is that I made my macro file that we're gonna download later, and I wrote my code in Autohotkey, and that's just the language used. And without Autohotkey, if we don't download it, we just cannot run the macro. So yeah, Autohotkey have been around for like 20 years or something. Every single Roblox macro use those, and even outside of Roblox, Autohotkey is a really popular language for automation. So what you want to do is actually go ahead and click on download right here. Then it will prompt you to download either v2.0 or the v1.1. We're actually gonna go ahead and download the v2.0 here and then save it. After that, you want to open the installer you just download. Mine is right here. I'm gonna double click on it, and then you should see this. Click on install. Now it's gonna see something like, do you want to allow an unknown publisher from blah 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 blah, and you want to say yes. After that, you should get this, and once you see this, you can just click on the X. We don't need to worry about this anymore. We have Autohotkey installed on our computer. Now that this is done and completed, let's go on to the last step, the step 2, which is gonna be to actually download the macro. Because yeah, I mean, now that we got Autohotkey, we need the script, we need the actual macro for it to work, and that's pretty obvious. So for this step, you will have to go again in the description, click on my Discord server, and go ahead and join that. If the link doesn't work for you, just type on any browser discord.gg/Virage macros, and yeah, just click on accept invite, and then you'll be inside of my Discord server. So first thing you want to do when you're inside, you want to go to the plant vs brainrot section here, then go down to macro download, and you should see something like this. For you, it's probably gonna be version 1.03 or above, because I'm releasing this version like, I think after I record this video I'm gonna release it. But yeah, so just download the latest version that you can see here. So just go down and hit download on the file. It's gonna say potential dangerous download. It does that for literally everything on Discord. So just click on continue to download. Now, extremely important, because some people still misses this step, you want to make sure you extract the file. And what I mean by that is that the file that you downloaded is actually a zip folder, so you want to right click and then click on extract all, and then you can actually delete the zip version and instead open the unzip version, which is right here for me. So yeah, as I said, I got the 1.03 here. So yeah, that's really important, or else the macro will just not run. So make sure you extract it. And now you should see something like this. You want to click on main.hk, and basically the other things are not really important. You can just leave them here. OCR.hk is there for images recognition, so I'm not gonna go too much in details here, but the only thing you need to worry about is main.hk. So just double click on that, and you should see my macro right here. Now, before you go ahead and try to go do it on your own, I got some really important requirement you need to follow, or else it might not work for you. So first step is going to be make sure you're in window full screen. So what I mean by that, basically just like I have it right now. So you don't want it to be too small like this. In this case, you can just hit the little maximize thing here, and now there you go, your screen is ready for the macro. Then next thing you want to check is on your Roblox settings. You want to go into settings, go down to UI navigation toggle, and make sure it is on. Now let's actually take a look at the settings of the macro, and after that you'll be able to run my macro and get thousands of seeds and gear items overnight. Just look at this 65,000 SHROOMBINOs right here. I got it fully while macroing, which is really cool. But anyways, first tab that we have here is the seeds tab. So pretty straightforward. You want to select which seeds you want the macro to purchase. So for this example, I'm going to select all of them because I like to select all of them. There's not many in the game yet, so it doesn't really make a difference if you select just the best one or all of them. For the gear, I'm going to do the exact same things. I'm going to select everything from the gear shop. Then if we go look into the settings, so first we got macro speed. This is just the speed at which the macro is going to run any actions. There's 3 modes: stable, fast, or ultra. I personally use ultra, but I recommend you start with stable, see if it works, and if everything works fine, so you can go up to ultra. But for now, it doesn't really make any changes. Both will work really fine, and you will get the same amount of items. Then we have UI navigation key. So this is just like we checked earlier. If we go to the settings tab and we go down, UI navigation toggle. So earlier we put it on. Now we actually want to check which key is needed for the macro to work. In my case, it is the backslash. I think that's how it's called. But yeah, just look at the key right here, and you want to put this key into the little box here. In my case, it's already by default the right one, so we're gonna leave it at that. But in your case, it might be a comma or something else. I think it depends which language you're running Roblox on, but for any English people, it should be this backslash here. Then if we go down, we see we have auto align camera. This is so important, okay? I'm gonna do an example later in the video when I run the macro without any cuts, so we can see exactly what the auto aligns looks like. Because if you don't run auto align, the macro will most likely not work. So make sure you have this on. In short, it's basically gonna align your camera so it faces the right way, and then you can walk the right way, and the macro will just simply work. And if you don't do that, it's just not gonna work. But yeah, let's just leave that on. Then we have auto collect cache. This is also straightforward. If you want the macro to automatically collect your cache and equip the best brainrot, basically how this works, it goes in your inventory and it clicks on equip best brainrot, and then yeah, you get cache basically. Pretty simple and pretty efficient. I love this feature. Then we want to go to Discord webhook. You don't have to do this. This is optional. You can skip to this if you want to just see me running macro. But if you want to set up a Discord webhook, which is basically, wait, let me actually show you on Discord what it looks like. So look, basically it's gonna update you on what the macro bought. So asking for the cycle 4 example, when I ran it earlier, it purchased these items, and I just want to say that sometimes it still messes up because it uses OCR to read the text on your screen. And as you can see, it said right here that I bought 5 carnivorous plant, but of course I did not buy 5 carnivorous plant. It was actually a misread, but most of the time it's gonna be right. And as you can see, it gives you a lot of really good information. Example, when the macro starts and the cache it collected. So yeah, overall a really useful feature that I really like. If you want to set it up, I'm gonna show you right now. So of course, with the first setting, enable Discord notification. That's pretty straightforward. If you have it off, it's not gonna send you notifications, and if you have it on, it's gonna send you notification. But in order for it to send you notification, you actually have to enter your Discord user ID. This is actually public information for those who think I'm trying to do something sketchy here. Everyone can get your Discord ID, by the way. And if you want to find yours, really simple, just right click on your profile picture and click on copy user ID, and then just paste it right here. It's gonna automatically save, and then we can go to the next setting, webhook URL. Now this is actually the bot that I showed you earlier. This bot right here, Captain Hook, it is a webhook, and that is what is gonna allow us to connect the macro to Discord. So to set this up, it is pretty simple. You have to have a Discord server. In my case, I got this private server right here that I am alone inside of it. But you want to go into your server settings, go down to integrations, click on webhooks, click on new webhook, and then click on the webhook you just created. Then assign it channel where you want the logs to be put in. I'm gonna select general, but just select whatever you want. You can change the name, you can change the icon. Not really useful, it doesn't change anything. But what's important is right here, copy webhook URL. You want to click on this and go back into the macro, paste it right here. It should look something like this, and then it's gonna save automatically. Also, you can test the webhook here. So as you can see, I got my information entered here. I click on test webhook, and if I go check in my Discord server, as you can see, I got the Spidey bot here in my general channel that just said macro update. This is a test message, and it works correctly. So as you can see, we set it up correctly, and that means our webhook will work just fine when we start the macro. And that's all of these settings of the macro currently. At the time you're watching this, there might be more features. If you have any questions, any issues, you can also ask them in my Discord server. But yeah, now let's actually start the macro. So to start the macro, it is F5. To start the macro, it is F7. Now I'm gonna do an uncut so you can see what it's supposed to look like when you run the macro. I'm gonna show you my settings. I have all of these settings here, and I'm gonna run the macro with these settings. So I'm gonna press F5 to start the macro, and straight off the bat is gonna start the alignment. So it's gonna change the camera mode to follow, and it's gonna do this UI navigation thing to align itself, and then it's gonna go back to the default classic camera, and then it will go ahead and open the seed shop. Now it's gonna buy stuff in the seed shop. Yeah, since we're in stable, it takes a little bit of time, but there you go, it starts buying right here. Now it's gonna buy everything that you had selected. And there you go. So it's gonna go over every single seeds. And then once it's done, it's gonna close the shop and go to the gear shop this time. And again, it's gonna buy the gears that you had selected. And once this shop is done, it's gonna run the auto collect cash if you had this on, which I had it on, so it should go in my inventory at any moment. There you go, it just collected the cash. And then it's gonna start over every 5 minutes, but since we just got a restock, it's gonna start again. But we're gonna stop it because we've done an entire cycle, and it's basically gonna run it over and over again. So to stop it, it's actually F7. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one, hopefully.